Yeah, I'm with you. I'm totally with you. And I think, Dave, one of the things was he was more uncomfortable than anything. I do think Sophie and, oh gosh, I can't know whether it's Paige, made Shanice interrupt Connagh and
God.
Rebecca's. How bad was that? Fucking terror. I mean, Shanice was daft enough to go along with it. And I don't necessarily blame her, but talk about cringe with. And she come on, can we have a little chat? And he's like, well, where do you want to go? Oh, we'll go up there. And they all walked off together. And I quite like Rebecca behind going, sorry, I'm not following you. So I'm just going up here. And they all walked up together, all three of them. It's like an episode of The Office. And then it was like, she lays it onto him. And he's like, yeah, you're my time. Yeah, fair, yeah, fuck that. 2 minutes later, he's got his fucking tongue down Rebecca's throat. I was just like, oh, no. No.
I do not like Shanice. I really don't like her. But you know what? I think I started last season off liking Anton about the same. I thought he was
Yeah.
an utter prick. But because he was so David Brent and, he was quite funny in a David Brent way, I kind of warmed to him. Now, it hasn't happened yet, but I am questioning myself. Am I going to warm to Shanice? Because I called it out in the last episode, I think. She has got an unshakable confidence in herself. She's saying, oh, yeah, dancing's my bag and, I'm going to be right fucking in there. And she was just terrible. And, and the way she's like, she's going over there to Connagh and, she's been binned off once. She even said, oh, I stood there, I felt like a dickhead. She's binned off before, she's binned off again, but she's still right back in there fighting for it. So there is something a little bit admirable about that. But she's got no fucking chance, has she, really?
No, not at all. The good speech that Dave, I agree, but she's got nothing. And it's funny, isn't it, how you can change over 1 or 2 episodes. And like I say, Sophie could be redeemable, but I just thought what she did was pretty snaky. And it has to be called out, Dave. It doesn't matter. It was, because you can't do that. Well, you can do it, and she obviously did, but it's like, come on, you're on live TV. It's not like, you're out in a club somewhere or whatever, and she thinks she can get away with it. She's on fucking TV. And I think that's the only reason she fessed up, because she was like, oh shit, what the hell am I doing? Everyone's going to see that I kissed him and he's going to see it. So I think they were incompatible anyway. And to be fair to Connagh, he gave her the opportunity. He wasn't going to kick off about it. He just gave her the opportunity. They hugged, and that's the end of it. She just came out of it looking daft. Now, one last thing I wanted to bring up, Dave, is Mike and Leanne. Now, talk about another cringe moment. They've gone from being a full-on couple, Mr. Lover, to now being, let's just high five at the end of the discussion. I mean, that was so fucking bizarre. Absolutely fucking nonsense. And I think they're over now. They are done. Once you go backwards when you start in a relationship, you are done as far as I can see, Dave. I'd be fucking surprised if they're still together by the end of this week.
Very surprised, yeah. And it was interesting, wasn't it? So Shaunna went over and kissed Mike when the question came up in the competition in the game. Who do you think's playing a game? And Mike really didn't like that. But come on, I think we all called it, didn't we? We said, or certainly where I was when I was watching it, she's going to go over and kiss Mike. Sure enough, he did. He didn't like it, but sometimes the truth hurts. I think Mike is playing a bit of a game there. I think he's trying to convince himself again to couple up quickly. And I don't know what's going on with Leanne. It's really hard not to draw the kind of Yewande comparisons from last year, where you've basically got someone. Let's talk about before she went a bit, psycho on everyone, on Danny. But before that, she was really kind of standoffish and like, I've been hurt in the past and don't really want to let my feelings out and stuff like that. Leanne seems a bit like that. And it's like, look, kind of, this is the game. This is the show. What are you doing here? I think when she came in, she was trying to repair some issues with her personality. She didn't put it that way, but I took it that way. And it's like, fucking Love Island is not the right place to do it. But honestly, Chris, I was fucking crying. I mean, one of my favorite movies, Deadpool, where, he gets a cab and the guy asks him for his for his money. He says, "Oh no, sorry, I don't carry money." But how about a crisp high five? I just thought exactly of that. I mean, a high fucking five. You've been sharing a bed with this guy, and you want to high five him. I'm like, all right, yep, they are done. But again, I don't see any flirting, anything else with Leanne and anyone else really. So I have to question what she's there for. If her and Mike split up, if Mike's head's turned, although there's two new guys coming in, isn't there? But
Yeah.
if maybe the new guys will pair up with Leanne. I mean, she is absolutely stunning. So maybe that'll happen. But then, maybe she'll click with them.
Yeah. Now, Dave, just before we get into our wrap up, we have had an email from a friend of the show. He was a guest on the show, Mr. Ed Ross. Now, his email is just a bit of an evaluation on what's happened so far in his eyes. So thanks for the email again, Ed. And if, before I read this out, you do want to email us, guys, the loveislandcast@gmail.com or on Twitter @loveislandcast as well. So get in touch with us if you've got anything to talk about on the show. Right, so he says, all right, lads, good to be back with Winter Love Island and with your podcast. I skipped the Aussie one and must admit a few of my mates are saving themselves for the summer. Not much doing in the first week until Big Connagh picked Sophie. Shaunna is carrying this season almost single-handedly at the minute. Haven't looked at the odds, but I can see whoever she ends up with being the favourites. Callum's a bit Tim Nice but dim. Sophie also seems pretty down to earth and her personality's coming out a bit more when you can understand her. I agree, it's got formulaic too, though. As far as games go, I don't mind the dancing. See what the outfits people choose for themselves. See who really goes for it, and then the inevitable drama unfolding after. Though most of the guys just spend the entire time waving their privates in the girls' faces. That never seems to work in my experience. Well, Ed, if you want to email us with a bit more of why that is, I don't know. It's just put P.S. Shanice is the worst, Ed. So again, great email. Love that last bit. Thanks, Ed, again. And hopefully at some point we'll get Ed back on the show as well. So really good stuff.
No, that's brilliant, and he's right, isn't he? I mean, but what would you do, Chris? What would your tactic be? I mean, they seem to either shove their crotch in the girls' faces or shove their arse in their faces, and I think, well, neither's particularly, I don't think that's a great tactic. I don't know, maybe nibbling a bit of the neck, nibbling on the earlobes, maybe something like that. What would you go for?
In a hypothetical situation, I can't dance for fucking toffee, Dave. I've got no fucking rhythm, literally, at all. I'm literally bobbing. So me throwing my fucking crotch in someone's face, one, there's not exactly a bulge there, Dave, anyway, so it'd be fucking pointless. And two, I agree. I don't know what you get out of it. I think what I would have to do is just go pure brute strength, Dave. And I'd just pick her up by her hair and swing that bitch straight into the pool.
You know what? Now that I think about it, I'd go for the full crotch thrust. And released yesterday on our VHS Strikes Back podcast. We went back to Patrick Swayze's Roadhouse, and I'm pretty sure the line out of there is what will be uttered to me, which is, "I thought you'd be bigger."
Oh, Dave, I might have exclusivity on that one. Obviously, I wouldn't pick somebody up and throw them into the pool, Dave, just before someone starts giving me shit. Like,
well, Chris, I've been talking about Shanice's deluded sense of grandeur and like inflated sense of self. And we were also putting out a plea. Could we possibly catch up the official Love Island podcast? We just have to make up that 37,000 reviews. So we've got in 3, which is absolutely brilliant. And the first one I'll read out is from the United States of America. It is subject, great podcast, and it says, only Love Island podcast I listen to, which is absolutely fantastic. And the second one is, I love this as much as the actual show. This is from the UK store, and it says, genuinely look forward to this podcast in between the episodes of the actual show. They tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and they make me lol so much. If you're a fan of impressions, though, this is probably not the podcast for you.
How dare you?
That is from Timbers, and there is nothing in that review that I can actually argue with. And the last one I'll read out. Oh no, I think. Oh no, this is a new one as well. So this is from Ireland, and it says Reality Pros. These guys are hilarious. Like listening to a couple of mates down the pub with a bit of Statler and Waldorf from the Muppets thrown in. Makes watching the show far more entertaining, and their obviously strong friendship is adorable. And that is from Non-American. So thank you very much for that. Those are absolutely brilliant reviews. Really, really witty comments in there as well. Brilliant.
Good. Now, Dave, we're creeping up. We're catching them bastards on the official podcast. Yeah. Get them in, people, please.
We'll have them yet.
Yeah, we will.
All of our lives, but
right. So, Dave, I think we'll see everybody tomorrow.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you very much, sir. And I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye now. Right, welcome everybody to another episode of the Love Island Cast. I am one of your hosts, Chris Phelps, and my co-host and very good friend is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hey there, Chris. Great to be back. We've had our day off and we're ready to get going again. And I've got to tell you, Chris, I wasn't really feeling it this season, but there are sparks starting to fly and not the good ones. So where do you want to start today?
Well, I think we need to start, Dave, with Miss Britain, Rebecca, with the freckles and all. Now, she came in. I've got to say, Dave, she's got a very, very deep voice, and but very, very attractive girl, very naturally good looking. And she's won competitions without the makeup. You can clearly see that. And I don't think she's done much wrong. It's the nature of the game. It's something you called out in our last episode. And all I'm doing now is I'm getting more and more annoyed at fucking Shaunna. As much as I said, like, she's great, she wears a heart on her sleeve. One, it's coming through is desperate. And when she was telling Callum the other day to fucking what to write in his phone and everything, I was like, what the fuck is this? You know, and he's saying, like, you know, I'm not very good with words. I'm not very good with words. And I don't think he wanted to do it. I think he wanted to keep his options open.
He was fucking bullied into it, wasn't
exactly. I genuinely think he was like, oh, yeah, I'm not interested in you. Wink, wink. I don't think Rebecca saw the wink when he was doing it, because he was keeping his options open and he got fucking railroaded into it. And all that Shaunna did after that was whinge, fucking moan. I was like, I just went right off of these last couple of episodes, Dave. I mean, what did you think of Rebecca and obviously Shaunna?
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think she's done a lot wrong, really, apart from look pretty lovely. Yeah. She's just walked in. She's done exactly what the producers want her to do. You know, she's turned heads. She's turned every head, I think. A bit like Connagh with a G, you know, turned every head in there. She's not really... I don't think she's put a foot wrong, because she's all the guys are sort of flocking around her, but she's trying to speak to the girls as well, and she's not going behind anyone's back or anything. Now, Shaunna, was putting up that front, wasn't she? She generally tells it how it is. Her and Rebecca had a chat, and it seemed like, okay, she understands what the game is, but then she's just fucking snapped, hasn't she? It's as if she's got to a point where she just sort of seen them speaking and that, and she's just like, right, fuck this, I've fucking had enough. I think, Chris, she's gone in there with a game plan, and I just think, you know, it's all, and actually, I think Mike and Leanne might have that same game plan. You know, just couple up early, you know, get people to like you, be friendly with everyone. I think it's with Shauna. I think at that moment, just that fakeness, that fake personality that she's tried to create for herself has just come through. And she's just like, right, fuck it, I've had enough. But I have to say, you know, Callum, grow a fucking backbone. If you don't want to do it, don't fucking do it. Because the worst thing that can happen now is that something does actually develop between him and Rebecca. And you can see that Rebecca's taking it on face value. She's like, okay, you know, it's good that he's put it out there. You know, he's got fucking Shauna's hand up his arse when he's talking, like, you know, he's like just saying her words. And you can tell he's not believing any of it, but he's just completely railroaded and has got no backbone to it. So it'll be interesting where this one goes, because you can definitely see Rebecca's just gone, right, okay, fuck this, and gone off to Connagh, who's at a loose end as well. And actually, they do look pretty good together, don't they? I mean, both bloody... Yeah. I don't even want to say they're models, Chris, because she came in and she said, oh, yeah, I'm a part-time model and I also do caring. No, you're a fucking carer who does part-time modeling.
Yes, yeah.
It's something we talked about on the last UK season, isn't it? But they all like to put the model first. And it's like, nah, that's not what brings in the rent. So, yeah, that's what I think of it, is watch this space. But as soon as we saw Shauna have that first blowout, I was rubbing my hands and I was thinking, all right, okay, you've got me. I'm in.
Yeah, I'm in. And now, Dave, I agree. I totally agree. There's actually a person I'm going to really, really go in hard on now, Dave. And I'm really shocked that she's played a game over me more than anything. And as you know, we call bad behaviour, boy, girl, no matter who it is, it's bad behaviour. Sophie is proper playing the game, and she's very, very clever because she does it all with a smile on her face, and she goes, oh, yeah, oh, yeah. Well, she kisses fucking veneer-faced Connagh behind Connagh's back, right, on the sly. If that had been the other way round, and Connagh was speaking to a girl and blatantly lied to her when she was asked, because Connagh said, I've heard that you kissed Connagh. And she went, I've not done that. It was only in the challenge. And he went, oh, right, just that. And then all of a sudden she went, actually, I did. And then she's like laughing with him and all that as if it's nothing. And because she's obviously not a nasty sort of vicious person, she just sort of, and she's talking it down and going, oh, well, it just come out. It was just bullshit. And I'm thinking, no, I'm not forgiving that. We have... everyone watching it, these proper red flags with that fucking midget Connagh. And they deserve each other. And if he fucking shits on her, I am not interested one fucking bit. In a week's time, they might be loved up and they live together for the rest of their lives. I don't see a connection. They look completely incompatible. But if she's daft enough to go with that guy and what she did to Connagh, then fair fucks to you. Stay in your lane, stay in your fucking bed together. And I'm sorry, Dave, but I'm off the Sophie train at the moment because I just don't think... I think she's pulled us all in by this little sweet girl next door act. And I think that's what it is, an act. Because, look, they're not a couple. Connagh even said that. Connagh said to her dead straight, we've only known each other a couple of days. Don't lie to me. Do you know what I mean? And he's right. But if that had been a bloke doing it, oh my God, I'm sure he would have got fucking pelters, Dave, left, right, and centre. But he's just been swept under the carpet. And that's not me saying it from a bloke's position, just from a fairness position. If a lad, you know what I mean? It's the same thing. It just totally annoyed me that a couple of episodes ago.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you can fake it that much, right? So Shauna's been trying to fake it, and it's dropped. You know, she's finally cracked, and we've seen that kind of explosiveness side of her. So, you know, I think, actually, we'll go back to Mike last year. I remember loads of people tweeting. Remember, he was like fucking Dirty Den, wasn't he? He was like the villain of the UK, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Everyone wanted to put the boot in, and he did have some proper despicable behaviour. But I remember seeing loads of people say, the worst type of guy is the one who thinks that they're nice, and Mike thinks he's a nice guy, but he's not. He's a shit. I think Sophie thinks she's a really nice girl. Now, I'm not saying she'll do things to the level of what Mike did, but yeah, that was a very uncomfortable moment, that where she just lied completely to Connagh G, and it's almost as if she did a quick calculation in her head and thought, you know what, we're all stuck in this villa. It's not the outside world. I can't get away with this. We're stuck in the villa. Everything's fucking filmed. I can't actually get away with this. And that was when she fessed up and said, you know what, just bullshit just came out of my mouth and I don't know why. Because at first, I I went with it. We've all said something stupid and then thought, in a pressure situation, you've said something stupid and thought, I don't know why I said that. I don't even believe it. It just came out of my mouth. So I forgave it initially for that first few seconds and minutes. But the more I thought about it, I thought, no, you've just realized you're going to quite easily get caught out. And I think I'm not, again, I'm interested to see where she goes in the villa, but I'm at the point, not quite at the point maybe that you are where you're washing your hands of them, but it's one of those, you can see the future, can't you? You can see the path for Connagh and Sophie. It's a toxic relationship and it ain't going to work, and you can see it as plain as day. But despite having all the red flags, you just can't fucking help some people, can you? So
No.
I think it's difficult for us to watch it and for it to be so blatant. But I think she's had enough chances. She's had enough people, advise her and say, calling out Connor's behaviour. But if she wants to go back to him, then sometimes we have to learn our own mistakes, don't we? So
Oh yeah.
she'll find out that he is an utter bellend. And sometimes, I'm going to say it, Chris, if it looks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, it is a fucking duck. So, that's it. I like I say, I'm not quite done with that couple, but there's no future for them. They won't be getting my vote.
No.
So, fuck them.